Hi, this is Josh with Resort TV 1. Today we're taking you on a tour of the China Pavilion at Epcot. We hope you enjoy the video. And as you can see, we've got a beautiful day to enjoy the tour of this beautiful pavilion here at Epcot. And the colors here are so bright and vibrant, especially in the morning sun. And there you can see the Paifong Gate, which is a replica of a traditional gate in China. And in fact, the word Paifong in Chinese means gate. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's basically the way the word looks. But that's kind of an interesting little trivia for you there. And here you can see some of the various merchandise that's for sale across from the pavilion entrance. And here's a little peek at the inside of the Good Fortune gift shop. And you can see they've got a wide variety of merchandise for people to look at. And that's a look at the Nine Dragons restaurant, which we'll take a look inside later in the video. But let's take a shot of the Paifong Gate as well as the Temple of Heaven replica right behind it. This is one of the most beautiful shots in all of Epcot. It's just breathtaking what the artisans were able to create here. And from what I understand, they brought in authentic Chinese artisans to build this and to make sure that the architecture was as authentic as possible. And I'm just constantly amazed by the intricacy of the painting and the colors on these pavilions and these buildings here. It's really just astounding. And it's very immersive. You really can feel like you're actually in China just based on how authentic the architecture is. So we'll check out the inside of the Temple of Heaven replica in just a few minutes. But first, let's pause to admire these amazing gardens outside of the building. Here's a traditional Chinese pond, and I love the lily pads as well as all the other lush vegetation. It's just such a relaxing place to look at. I wish I had something like this in my backyard and just sit here and just all the stress would melt away. And I think that's the idea behind these types of gardens. I love the reflection there in the water as well. And this pathway is never very busy, and it's a great spot to just sit and relax and contemplate or meditate or whatever you'd like to do. And again, look at the beautiful reflection there of the building. I'll just let you enjoy the scenery here for a few minutes until we go inside. So we're about ready to go inside the Temple of Heaven replica here and check out the inside, but I hope you enjoyed that relaxing tour of the gardens outside. And of course, inside of this building is the Reflections of China film in Circle Vision 360. And Circle Vision is something Walt Disney himself helped to invent. So there's a little trivia for you. And now inside the Temple of Heaven, let's just stop and admire the amazing artwork. It's just mind-boggling to me to imagine how much work it would have taken to create this masterpiece. It's truly awe-inspiring. And again, I just love all the vibrant colors and the symmetry of everything. It's just so aesthetically pleasing to look at. And now as you walk further into the building, you can see some paintings there that are featured partially in the movie itself, as well as a nice waiting area for the movie. This is a great place to get inside the air conditioning and just take a load off your feet while you wait for the amazing movie. And the clock at the top shows you how many minutes until the next show. And this is a small stage here which sometimes features performances by Chinese musicians, which is really nice. There's a poster from Mulan. And here's a fairly new exhibit inside Shanghai Disneyland Resort. So we'll take a look inside here and see some of the exhibits, but we won't take a complete look at it. We'll actually feature a separate video which will have a more in-depth look at this particular exhibit. So we'll just hit the highlights for now. And as you can see, it's a fairly large exhibit with a lot of different things to look at. And here you can see some information about Adventure Isle, which of course is the Shanghai Disneyland version of Adventureland. But I love that there are a lot of unique attractions, or ones that have been changed quite a bit from their counterparts at the other Disney parks. So again, we'll go a little bit more in depth on this in a future video. And there you can see the Shanghai Disneyland Castle, which is amazing in and of itself. You should check out some videos of that elsewhere on YouTube. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Shanghai Disneyland, but I'd love to go sometime. And here's a model of Shanghai Disneyland that kind of shows exactly where everything is. And I guess it's really more of a large map than a model, but it's still pretty cool to look at. And there you can see some footage of Tron in the background. And here's another section called Gardens of Imagination, which appears to be right in front of the castle. And here you can see part of an exhibit about Shanghai Disneyland's Fantasyland and some of the attractions that are featured there. And here's a model of the castle at Shanghai Disneyland, and it's unique among the Disney Parks castles because it's just built on such a grand scale, and the interior is supposed to be breathtaking. I hope I get to visit it someday. And there you can see some of the cast member costumes. And here's some information about Shanghai Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. And this attraction is simply amazing, and if you haven't seen a video of it, go watch it on YouTube right after you're finished watching this video, because it's just amazing. And here's an exhibit about the Tron light cycles, and we're excited to get those at the Magic Kingdom here in a few years. It was just announced at D23, of course, as everyone knows. The artwork looks just breathtaking. And this is the sign that welcomes you to this exhibit from outside next to the Temple of Heaven. Of course, I got there from inside the waiting area for the movie, but you can also enter this way if you wish. And here's another great shot of the gardens as well as the Paifong Gate. So now we're going to check out some of the shopping, which is on the left side of the pavilion as you face the Temple of Heaven. So the biggest shop here is the House of Good Fortune. But you can also see this shop winds back into kind of a Chinese street, which is very nice to look at and very relaxing again. And I love the details here. Just so breathtaking. Even above the shops, the details and the artwork on the buildings are just astounding. I love all the Chinese puppets and different headwear and little umbrellas with ears, all kinds of great stuff. And this building, I believe, is labeled as kind of a hotel. It's not actually a hotel, but that's what it's supposed to be. I love the bamboo there. And again, just striking details on these buildings. So now let's go into the House of Good Fortune and take a look at some of the merchandise there. And as I mentioned before, this is a fairly large shop, and I'm not going to do an exhaustive tour of this particular shop, but I'll just give you an overview of the types of merchandise that you can find here. We may do a more detailed tour in the future. So there are a lot of unique displays, a lot of clothing, and just decorative items, and all kinds of different things. And even the architecture inside the shop is very distinctly Chinese. And it's really nice that they've got that much attention to detail. even in the shops. I love the Chinese fans there in the middle. Those are really beautiful. Of course, these blades are really amazing as well. And again, looking at the architecture inside this store is pretty amazing, so make sure you pause from looking at the merchandise to appreciate the architecture inside the store as well. And there's a big Buddha statue in the middle, as well as some smaller ones that you can purchase. And I love this little back, kind of an alcove here in the back of the store. And we can take a closer look at it here. These lighted lamps are really neat and beautiful, and they would be a great addition to any bedroom or living room if your decor would fit with this. And here's a look at the statue from the front. And as we go towards the very back of the store, you'll see that we get into more of a kids area, so there's a lot of fun merchandise that kids might be interested in. And there you can see a lot of pandas, stuffed dogs, all kinds of fun stuff. Even one that's got a Santa outfit there. And as we exit the main shop, we'll see that we come into a completely different area that has a roof over it, but it's open on one whole side, which makes exiting from the movie on the other side much easier. I love the Chinese fans and lanterns over there, as well as some of the plants that kind of look like bonsai plants. I love all the bright and vibrant colors again, just so amazing. And here's the exit to the Reflections of China movie. And there's a bench over there and a very relaxing piece of artwork to look at. And now we'll head back outside. And as you can see, we'll travel along the main building here, the House of Good Fortune store. But it looks like you're in a Chinese market street, which is a lot of fun. And what's neat is all these buildings look like individual shops somewhere on a Chinese street, so the theming is really great. There you can see the door for the hotel I mentioned earlier, even though of course you can't go in. I'm sure it's used as storage, or it's part of the Reflections of China film, or whatever it is, but the facades are really neat. Even the stairs going up there in the side of the building are just very evocative of what you might see on a Chinese market street. And here's the Chinese quick service restaurant called the Lotus Blossom Cafe. And this is a great place to eat. I love the orange chicken, but you can take a look at the other menu entries as well. And my best tip here is to get the orange chicken with the sauce on the side. To me, it's a little bit overwhelming if it's draped all over the chicken, but I like to just dip the chicken into the orange sauce, and then it's wonderful. So that's my tip for eating here at the Lotus Blossom Cafe. Of course, you may like to do it another way, but that's how I like to do it. There you can see a picture of some of the entrees. Just a lot of good food here. They've got restrooms if you need those, and sometimes in World Showcase those can be hard to find, so these are a little bit less traveled restrooms, so that's a little tip for you if you're here at a busy time. And there are two sides to the eating area, and there's plenty of tables. And right next to the Lotus Blossom Cafe is the Chinese table service restaurant called the Nine Dragons Restaurant. And this is a wonderful Chinese restaurant as well. You can see some of the menu entries. And so we'll go inside and take a look around. I love the wood carvings all over the place. They're just very intricate and ornate. Of course, there's a dragon in the ceiling, so evocative of the Nine Dragons name itself. And here's a look inside the dining room of the restaurant. I love the colored lanterns on the ceiling. Just a really nice place to eat. Great decor. Well, that's all we have from the China Pavilion at Epcot. Please leave a like on the video and a comment, as well as subscribe if you haven't already done so. Also, check out our sponsors, MickeyBlog.com and MickeyTravels.com. Until next time, have a great big beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye. Now that you've finished watching this video, be sure that you're subscribed so that you can get all of the latest updates. Also, check out some other great videos on our channel. Have a great big beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.